God, I don't like that either. That's not gonna work. Boop. Hey, welcome back to the Whiskey Edition. My name is Rob, and tonight we're gonna go through this last month or so's pickups. It is the witching season. You can tell by the shirt, I'm only here for the booze. Not the beers, but the booze. It's funny, it's got beer, but it's booze. Anyway, not B-O-O-B-S, booze. Booze, anyway. Quick run through of what I picked up here lately, with one at the very end that is going to be very exciting very soon. First, you know, you can't get by without going and getting another Stag 24A. If somebody offers it to you, you take it. Next up, at that same place, they had this Fortaleza Reposado. Now I've got the quadfecta of all the Fortalezas. This came from a friend of mine, as did this plant in the background, his wife. The Jack Daniel's Hero Selection Barrel Select. He picked this up on base. Got a couple extra, got one for me, or let me purchase one from him, which is fantastic. So now I've got that going for, oh, I gotta cut this in because it's kind of important. The special thing about this Hero Selection isn't just in the name. It was selected by, this specific bottle was chosen by Melvin Keebler in 2024. So the hang tags are like dog tags and they hang on the bottle. So that's what makes this bottle a little more special than any other, you know, single barrel proof rye of Jack Daniel's. National War Hero has selected it, and our hearts go out to him and thank him for his service. For me, picked up a backup of the bourbon rye from Knob Creek. Heard it was really very good. Rye and Sons 2022. This is out of Frankfort, bottled in Kentucky Ayrton Distillery, Crestwood, Kentucky. It's kind of a small place. The local liquor shop had it. And no idea how, did I try this? I may have tried it and it was okay. No, I forgot. But picked that up, took that off their hands. Local to somewhat Yakima, this Distillarium, the Distillarium. They've changed their bottles from the short squat ones to these tall ones. This is No Man's Whiskey Cask Strength, 116 proof. It's a special bottle, number 222. So I took one of those off their hands too, and that goes back to the last video about relationships. Buying things that maybe people aren't necessarily looking for, that you can add to your selection, not necessarily a collection, as the Bruzel guy would say, so that, you know, you can continue to have a relationship with them if you're not like I am. I'm not a heavy drinker, and so having oddities around is okay, because I'm going to mix them up and try them out here and there and see how they do against each other. So that'll be interesting to see. I was recommended this Doc Swenson's Exploratory Cask L'Esprit. This is one of the Doc Swenson's expressions finished in cognac casks that a friend of mine's son recommended to me. Of course, this went out of production quite a while ago, and I found it as kind of a dusty, and so if I'm over that way again and they still have more, I might pick up another one just in case. While on the other side of the world, practically, other side of the country, Jack Rose Whiskey Bar. This was one of their picks, premium drams. This one's an interesting one. It's distilled in Bardstown. You don't know what's in it, but it's bottled at Castle and Key after 7 years. I did a flight of this with a couple other premier drams. This one was the better one, I thought, for me. Brought that one home. So always good to ask if a local place has your, if a local place has their own label, as we saw with one of the steakhouses, ask them if they sell them, because sometimes they will sell them, because then they can keep buying more and more barrel picks. You know, if they just buy barrel picks and never sell them, they'd have to go through an awful lot in their drinks. So maybe they do, but anyway. Bruzel did suggest if you ever see the Bulliet Rye, Bulliet, whatever, 12-year, buy it. So I bought it. We'll see how that goes. But a 12-year rye at that price, pretty good. And at the same time, picked up a Apervito to try some paper planes with. You saw that in the previous video. I was using the Aperol. Thought I'd try that. I have to spin this way now. Went to the old log cabin distillery here in Seattle, Washington. I I'm not a huge grammar guy or spelling guy or whatever, but the sheet that they had out telling where everything came from said this was Kentucky distillate. In the back it says it's Indiana Indiana distillate, so they need to correct that. Bottled by Old Log Cabin. It's an 11-year French oak bourbon whiskey. I think finished in wine barrels, so I think it was like a year in the oak and then 10 in the whatever in the wine. So I don't know exactly how that works out. They were very nice. I highly recommend if you have a distillery in your area and they have a bar where you can do some tastings and check them out. I've only had really good experiences at our local distilleries. Is that true? I think so. I think that's true. I want to get to Distillarium out in Yakima. I want to get to a couple of the others around here. I haven't been to Westland. I bought a Gariana, whatever that is. Bought one of those. I'd like to get down there. And they're for me, they're right around the corner. I just haven't done it. Been to Woodinville several times. They're really great there too. They're big now. They're big. Whereas some of these others aren't so big. I want to get down to Copper House, Copperworks, that's downtown here. I want to try that out too. Anyway, last trip, just got back from that, so I'm on a weird time zone. I think it's midnight and it's not. Stopped by the Cape Canaveral Liquors. They have a lot on secondary, but he's willing to deal. I don't know if I got a good deal on this, but I haven't seen it up here in the Pacific Northwest in forever. So I thought I'd pick that up, probably paid too much. At the same time, picked up this Heaven Hill grain to glass. This is the rye version. Got a lot of ryes going. It's gonna be a big rye day. That was probably way too much, but I think it'll even out with everything else. Found this at a Publix, which is I guess it's a supermarket, and they have their liquor stores are separate. Don't seem to be inside like maybe Safeways and QFCs and whatever up here. And so here's the Wild Turkey 70th anniversary. Picked that up at like 50 bucks. I couldn't believe it. It was just up on this top shelf. I'm looking around going, oh, look at that, I'll take that. And then I'm all packed. I've got all of my stuff packed. Everything bubble wrapped to the nth degree and all that because I have a long flight back up here from Orlando. I say to myself, I didn't say self, I'll just go into the Total Wine here just to compare it to the Total Wines here. You know, kind of an apples and apples type of thing. And they got all kind of the same stuff. They got all their in-house brands and Spirits Select and all that. And I'm kind of looking in the gals, well, we don't, have anything really that special allocated, blah, blah, blah. And I understand that. And I look up on the shelf and I kind of look behind, the shelves have the posts. I look up and hiding behind that, this could be good, it could be bad. I've heard different things. Beyonce, Sir Davis. So something very special is going to happen with this very soon, I hope, if I can get my act together. What does this say on the back? Rye whiskey finished in sherry casks. Well, I'll read this in the upcoming video where I have a taste of this. So I felt, then I had to repack my suitcase to have 4 bottles coming back with me instead of just 3. But it was at total wine cost, so I haven't seen it up here in the Pacific Northwest either. Bottle's kind of cool, but anyway, 15-ish bottles in a month. So, I gotta come back. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Hunting is fun. I figured it out, and I know I'm talking too long, but that's okay. If you've listened this long, that's okay. I think I figured out, the collecting hunting thing about whiskey and why I enjoy it, and even other spirits. I've got some Fortaleza in here because I don't imbibe that much. Honestly, I don't. And you shouldn't if you have a problem with it. And I'd like to think I don't, because I can take it or leave it. I find it fun. I find that the relationships you made, the people that you meet, for the most part, if you meet me, you might say that guy's an idiot, but whatever, I'm okay. But for me, it is also, it satisfies that I don't know, I want to say hunter-gathering, but it satisfied that collecting gene that I have. because I love cars. They're big and expensive. Love watches. They're little and expensive. Thing about whiskey is it's not that big. You can enjoy it, and it's fun to try to find it. And if you find it like I found this at this guy at a Publix supermarket instead of a liquor store, that's fun. So with that, pour a couple glasses, have some friends over, and help them drink all the booze you've had fun finding on your hunts. Thanks for watching.